a state where 4 out of every 5 people are peasants. An underdeveloped neighbor to thriving industrial countries with advanced technologies and parliamentary governments. This was Russia. Emerging ideas, an idealized human state. A world where eternal peace exists and sharing is natural. A quick fix, Marxism. A utopia. This seemed possible. A hasty industrialization that began to singe, and a counter-revolution that couldn't wait to crumble it. This was Russian reform. The year is 1904. The Russo-Japanese War leaves Japan triumphant and Russia utterly humiliated. Frustration brews in Russian peasants, emancipated from serfdom in 1861, but still economically bound to their farms. Peasants have been fighting their inferior social position for over a century. The Cossack revolt in the late 18th century involved bloodshed and grassroots power. The result was the introduction of elected officials, but Russia remained an autocracy. The year is 1904. The new term for peasant is farm laborer, but the two are essentially synonymous. Western European government is at home with its parliament. Autocracy persists in Russia, but the farm laborers are hunting for new real estate. This time, however, they have an agent. Military mutinies, students, and non-Russians advocate for the move to a new governmental home, a parliament. The year is 1905. The newly united group of revolutionaries is the Soviets. As reform groups are picking up speed, the Industrial Revolution in Russia is just taking off. Russia's backward agricultural society is the perfect foil for the technologically advanced Western Europe. While successful Western Europe is evolving naturally into its industrial state, Russia forces development. Russian impatience is a valid response, but ultimately, impatience is a fatal flaw. Many peasants are now dual citizens, rural farmers when the days are long and the crops can grow, urban workers when the unforgiving winter renders farming profitless. Dislocation of workers prevents Russian national unity. This class of seasonal workers, the Otkodniki, represents the instability of Russia as a state. The chaotic industrialization of Russia frames socialism as the ultimate ideal. In theory, extreme Marxist policy is guided by socialist theorist Karl Marx's legacy. More accurately, this policy is driven by Vladimir Lenin's impatience and fierce emotions. Lenin is not fervent, but willful. Unlike pragmatic policy of the liberal Social Democratic Party, Lenin believes capitalism is an unnecessary step in the modernization process. Extreme Marxism promises peace in the World War I era. Liberal Social Democrats can only offer Menshevik pink to Russia, and pink is too close to white and the old regimes. Bolshevik red is fresh. Red has not affiliated itself with the failing provisional government. Lenin's Bolshevik party holds promising opportunity. Bolsheviks gain power with the October Revolution of 1917. But by the end of the Russian Civil War, red holds unquestionable power. The 20th century world is one of violence. Heated dispute over contrasting economic experiments. Democratic capitalism is a widespread control group, and Russian communism is the experimental group. Russian success is variably dependent upon power to dictate economic liberties. Economic dictation is manipulated by Stalin. And Stalin is not an experimenter who takes well to an incorrect hypothesis. Stalin's inability to accept the failure of the Bolsheviks only perpetuates and propels extremist regime. To Stalin, communism is not the failure. The failure is being too moderate, despite the radicalism of current Stalinist policy. The result of Stalinism was a bad name for communism, and even socialism. However, the women's movements and taxation for the purpose of basic human rights were products of socialist ideals and ideas central to progressive liberalism today. If anything can be learned from the communist revolution, it is that it is especially important to think policies through in heated times. In this instability, emotional ideals dictate hasty decisions, and ultimately crumble the concept of pragmatism.